Hello, welcome back to Secrecy Recapped. Today we are going to talk about episode 4 of Wednesday, Supernatural series called, Whoa, What a Night. Episode 4 of Wednesday starts with her sneaking into the county coroner's office with the help of Thing. She wants to learn more about the victims of the monster and examine the body of the latest victim. While she was about to cut up the body to perform her own investigation, her detective work is interrupted by the return of the coroner and the sheriff. She hides in one of the empty cabinet and overhears their conversation. They were talking about victim's left foot, which had been sliced by the killer, and missing 2 toes that appeared to have been removed with a surgical saw. This conversation indicates that this creature was a human who knew how to use a surgical saw to remove these toes, but the motive was not known. Before the coroner left the lab, he saw a cabinet's door was open, so he peered inside and discovered a girl's dead body, which turned out to be Wednesday, who was pretending to be dead. The coroner planned to cut her body the next day, so he left and closed up the lab. The next morning, Enid saw Wednesday was pinning crime scene photos to her board. Wednesday shares her findings with Eden, who faints at the sight of the monstrous crime scene photos. Later in class, Wednesday finds Xavier's neck wounds a little suspicious, but he tells her that he tweaked his neck while fencing. Wednesday doesn't believe him and spies on him. Meanwhile, the other students were overexcited about the Saturday night prom rave-in. Xavier asked Wednesday if she wanted to go, but Wednesday declined. After class, Wednesday and Thing followed Xavier to his secret studio, and while he was gone, she entered the studio and discovered it is filled with paintings of the monster who had killed Rowan that night. She takes one of the drawings and leaves. But Xavier spots her before she could leave and asks what she is doing there. She asks him the same question and he tells her that it is his private art studio, but refuses to give her a tour. She has no valid excuse for being there, so she decides to ask him to the upcoming rave-in dance. Xavier is happy to be asked and thinks she is into him. After that, Wednesday met with Sheriff to show Xavier's paintings so that he might assign Wednesday to perform further investigation, but Sheriff refused to accept the assistance of a high school student. So, he declined to look further into it, but when he remembered that he needed to update the mayor with information, he asked Wednesday to provide concrete evidence. On the other hand, the mayor's son, Lucas, one of the pilgrims that Wednesday knocked out at the cafe in episode 1, approached Enid to take him to the dance in her school and lies he wants to make an ex jealous. Eden thinks this is a great idea as she is still under the impression that Ajax ghosted her and wants to make him jealous too. As Wednesday leaves the station, she meets Tyler and he tries to get her to ask him to the dance. He is not pleased to hear she is taking Xavier. He thinks that he and Wednesday have a thing, but she tells him that she has a lot going on and he is not a priority. When Wednesday showed Xavier's paintings to Eugene, he recognized one of them and showed Wednesday the location depicted in that painting. He also helps Wednesday find the monster's lair after spotting a drawing of it on her board. They decide to visit the lair and find a broken claw, and she bags it as evidence. After getting back to school, she sneaks into Xavier's secret art studio to collect his DNA. She collected a cloth soaked in Xavier's blood. Xavier discovers her and he is forced to explain how he has the drawings of the monster and the scratches on his neck. To which Xavier said that he was not the monster, but that he saw these monsters in his dreams, and that one day, when he was sketching them, one of them emerged from the painting and scratched his neck. He also realized that she only asked him to the dance as a cover when she first sneaked into his studio. Wednesday takes the claw and the DNA sample of Xavier to the sheriff and asks him to run a DNA test. Now that Wednesday had nobody to go to prom with, she urged Eugene to accompany her to the woods at night to investigate the cave, but Thing, on the other side, sent Tyler a message suggesting Wednesday wanted to attend prom with him. So Tyler arrived just as Wednesday was ready to venture into the woods. He even bought her the dress that caught her eye. Wednesday asks Eugene to cancel their plans and go the next night, but he ignores her warning and decides to go alone. At party, Xavier arrived with Bianca, and Enid arrived with Lucas. Enid and Lucas began to like each other, but Lucas had other plans on his mind. Actually, Lucas went to the prom not to make anyone jealous, but to exact revenge on Wednesday and the other school outcasts. But as he got to know Enid, he changed his mind, but his companions persuaded him to take revenge anyways. Wednesday learns that Xavier was once bullied by Tyler, but that doesn't faze her. She had the least interest in Xavier and Tyler's feud, so she focused on performing her strange ghostly dance in front of Tyler. At the dance, Xavier is grumpy to see Tyler and Wednesday together, and he asks Bianca to use her siren powers to help him get over Wednesday. Bianca is rightfully annoyed by this request and leaves. But, in the meantime, a water pipe broke and began pouring blood, which horrified everyone on the prom and caused them to flee, except for Wednesday, who was loving and tasting the blood. However, she found that it was not even pig blood but rather paint. On the other hand, Lucas starts to realize that he has a lot in common with Enid. Enid is disappointed when she finds out that he only used her, but the situation gives her an opportunity to clear up the misunderstanding with Ajax. They both finally got closer to each other and kissed. As everyone runs trying to get away from the paint spray, Wednesday has another vision and sees Eugene being attacked by the monster. She rushes to the woods to save him, but she is too late. By the time she gets to him, the monster is long gone and he is barely alive. Well, that's all for episode 4. Hope you liked the video. To watch the next episode, please subscribe the channel and hit the notification bell on.